Basically, we teach US history using majorly textbook platforms, online platforms such as Google Voyager and the popular ArcGIS story maps. Sorry. ArcGIS story maps. We know how effective story map is for visualizing stories and how it can help you put historical processes in spatial context. But we know that there's also a problem. So you see, there's a gap between the developers' technical skills and what the teachers actually need to teach the US history. And so how do we incorporate using story maps to as a tool for teaching US history in the history curriculum? So that's what Roots and Migrants tends to bridge. So the best way to go about this is to use a user-centered design, which will ensure that the teachers and the students' needs are met. So the major goal of this tool is to increase the public literacy on history, demography, migration, and kinship networks. So in our geosocial lab, we do a lot of study on migration networks, kinship networks, and majorly from family tree data, where we have the names and birthplaces of children, and then we use a child ladder method to identify migration events. So if there's a change of birthplace of a particular child, we then identify that as a migration event. So for the historical population density, we basically collected data from the NACIS and the Big Alliance GeoPortal, which we use to visualize migration from the late 18th century to the 20th century. So if we go straight to the user-centered design, we conducted a workshop, 1 out of 2 workshops, where we discussed with teachers and we asked them what do they need, what are the skills they have, and what would they like to see in the nearest future. And we got some interesting feedbacks. And we also had to deliberate on what is the requirement for the tools, what are the features, what are the functionalities that they would need to teach US history effectively. So during this workshop, we provided an alpha version, which I will be showing shortly, and it's still undergoing rigorous changes, and so we just want to be able to see if this tool can address the needs of the teachers as well as the high school students. So during this workshop, we asked pre-made questions concerning what they currently teach in the curriculum concerning the US history and how they engage the students with learning migration patterns and those sort of topics. So we asked them for the interactive tools and resources they use, and of course, they mentioned that the tools they have are underutilized, and there is a need to create more tools that could effectively teach the topics in the curriculum. So they also identified resource gaps, and we asked them how the application can be used as a classroom support, and how much of a customization they would need for the application. Do they want a partial customization, or do they want us to give them a free hand to do whatever they like? And so we also asked them a very important question of how they would like us to engage the students, because they would be the ultimate learners. So engage them and ask them what they would need from the application. So I'm going to take a very, very quick rundown of the application and basically see how we could use US history to do this. So I made a pre-recorded video, so everything goes as easy as possible. So let's start with this. Application can be used as classroom or curriculum support. So the application allows you to view changes from territories to statehood while visualizing concepts such as westward expansion and land acquisitions. You can also view specific events as well as the population and the migration maps in relation to those events. So let's take a scenario of using the application to teach or learn about the California Gold Rush of 1848 and how it influenced population dynamics. Although you can play the event using the animation tool to engage in the whole story, you can manually choose the year you want to explore or the specific events. So let's do the latter by exploring the events of the California Gold Rush. So first, you want to go to the time slider and choose 1841 as indicated in the event which we are currently. This makes mention of the California Trail and says that in May 1841, it was first used. So note that California does not appear on the map, but it pops up a story. So you can go to the population and check the California trails. See, you notice that it has loaded the trail path for the California trails. So the story then further states that in 1848, gold was found. If you switch the time slider to 1848, you can see that it pops a story telling the events of the California Gold Rush as well as the Treaty of Guadalupe, which saw the acquisition of lands surrounding California. But the map still doesn't change because California still does not exist. But you can view the pictures and watch a video relating to these events. So you also notice this other important event, which is the Treaty of Guadalupe. And you can view this by going to the history and choosing the Mexican section. So here you would notice that it shows you the land which was acquired by this section. So when you go to 1850, let's see, if you go to 1850, you will notice that California was formed in the population tab. So you will now notice that if you zoom into this place which has a high population density, you will notice that counties like El Dorado has a population density that is higher than its surrounding area. Also places like the Caglar, and these places are known to have a huge deposit of gold at that time. If you also go to the migration section, you will also notice that California seemed to have a positive value, which means that they received more people than more people were leaving the state. So this could be as a result of the gold rush. So subsequently, the population density in California increased over time, and it increased steadily. So this can give us an idea of how this California gold rush had influenced the population dynamics and the migration patterns within that period. So however, this application is still in its alpha version, and it is going serious changes in terms of the usability and the utility. But this is the current feature that we offer, and hope that we could also make this more seamless and easy to use for classroom teaching. Thank you. Okay, so in the nearest future, we would like to incorporate our software called flow mappers, which is used to visualize origin-destination flows, and so we'll be able to use that to visualize migration density, which is more intuitive for students. Thank you.